I always say you cannot fill from an empty cup. And we hear that, okay. But if you just give all of you and you don't sleep and you don't eat right and you're not giving yourself the love it deserves, you're gonna just dry up.
Hello everyone and welcome to EntrepreneurFit. I'm your host, Jared Lane. Joining me on this week's episode is Michelle Shah with The Wheelhouse. Michelle, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, it's our pleasure. I've known you for quite some time now through some of our close friends, and I was really excited when you said you'd give me the opportunity to interview. For everybody watching, if you can do us a favor and click the subscribe button below, really appreciate it. The Wheelhouse. Now, what do you guys do? What are you guys about?
So the Wheelhouse started in 2017. I am from Poughkeepsie originally, lived in San Diego for 8 years. While I was in San Diego, I got spin certified because I loved it and I had been doing it and I found it to be fun. And then when I moved back to Poughkeepsie, at the time, there were no spin studios. So instead of driving to Westchester or the city to teach, I said, forget it. I'm going to make this a dream and I'm going to make my own and I'm going to create what I know is missing in the Hudson Valley.
So, Michelle, it's really important, the basis of the show, Entrepreneur Fit is, how can we showcase and provide all this valuable information to other small business owners, CEOs, entrepreneurs, that are constantly working. How do you go about implementing like healthy lifestyle choices on a daily, weekly basis for yourself?
For me, I'm lucky. Part of my job is physical. So I do get my workouts in, whether I like it or not. But for our bodies, that's just part of it. Diet and supplements are so important. So proper nutrition, limiting sugar, limiting certain things from your diet. Like I don't allow myself to drink alcohol during the week when I know I'm teaching the next morning. And I teach every morning. So there's my restriction. So I think really knowing what you want to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and what your snack options are and setting those goals for yourself is important to keeping on track.
It definitely is. Now, how many days, how many hours a day are you working as a business owner? Now, throw in, unfortunately, in the current climate, things are changing. I know you guys have reevaluated your business. How many hours a day now would you say you're working?
So we rented out our bikes. We have 22 bikes. When this all sort of hit, we rented them out to some of our members. Some have bikes at home. We also do floor classes right now at home, which is great with like body weight or light hand weights. We have been able to keep people connected. We, of course, want to get back in the studio, but for now, we're excited that we're able to stay moving together, even though it's different circumstances. I'm still working hard in just a different way. Let me teach 5 spin classes a day and I'd be fine, but now I've got to come up with a way to stream classes that is effective and work with technology, which is not always dependable. So it's just been different.
Yeah, no, I can attest to that. Now, have you always been an active person, like as a young kid through your, young adulthood up until now?
I started cheerleading when I was in Pop Warner age young, and then I did it all through junior high and high school. I dabbled in field hockey one season. We've always been active for sure. I love being active now. When I was in San Diego, the mentality there is just very different. It's all health and wellness. People just are always out and about doing things, being active. Boutique studios are every 3 feet. You have opportunities to be physical and be active all day, every day. So that's really where I came into my fitness journey. And I couldn't really find a fit here. So I just made it.
Take me through your daily routine as far as your meals, supplements, maybe even water intake. Me personally, I try to drink over 100 ounces of water a day. I meal prep. I have, count my macros. What's your day-to-day like? The
wellness company I'm involved with, they are clean, non-toxic. That their whole motto is one clean life. So they offer supplements. The 2 that I take daily is a CLA product. CLA burns fat, inhibits fat storage, and shrinks fat cell size. And then they have a liquid collagen that I'm obsessed with. After 30, we lose 8% of collagen a year. And that's why we get that loose skin. And I'm trying to look young forever here. So I'm currently chugging collagen from the bottle.
Do you, based on like what you do for your career, do you meditate or do you do yoga? What's your go-to, if any?
I'm a very high energy person. So for me to like zen out is very hard. Even in massages, my brain is just like, what do I have to do next? But I do love yoga, but I love hot yoga because the athlete in me wants to get that really good sweat on.
Yeah, for some of us it's hard. I mean, even though I meditate, like even though I find myself still like my mind is, thinking a million thoughts per
Million thoughts. Yeah.
Now, do you like for like your meals, your supplements, do you track using any apps or do you use like a Google spreadsheet? Like how do you know like on a daily basis or weekly basis, like what Michelle has to take?
Every 3 months I do a cleanse. It's not an invasive cleanse. It's from the same company of the products I use. So I will use my Fitness Pal during those. It's just easy to track your food and kind of pay attention to the things you're putting into your system.
Cool.
During my day-to-day life, like now when I'm not cleansing, I kind of know what I'm doing. And, I truly live a life of balance. I think if we don't, we'll snap. So I follow and I promote an 80-20 living, 80% of the time, make good choices, work on yourself as best as you can, but allow yourself that extra 20% of indulgence because we need, if you're not going to give yourself anything, eventually we snap and then we just go on a rampage.
What is your favorite cheat meal?
Oh, I love a burrito. Like Mexicali Blue, they have like a fish burrito. I don't know. It's this big. It's massive. Chips and guac, like maybe a spicy margarita with it. Like that's my jam.
So like, are you more like salty than a sweet person, I guess, when it comes to
For sure savory. Like I'd choose chips over ice cream any day.
Here's a question that I want to ask. Based on like what you do, you're a spin instructor, a boutique studio. Would you choose cardio or weight training?
For me, if I had to pick one, I would pick weight training because it's out of my comfort zone. And without challenge, there's no change, right? So I work out with Martial from Fuel for Life, and he pushes me to levels that I never would go on my own. And that's where we start to see our bodies change when we do something different than what we're used to.
Yeah, and I fully agree with what you're saying. Again, you have all these accountability partners, which is amazing. So let's say right now during this quarantine, somebody really hasn't gotten the knack to be active, right? Maybe, I'm not sure their current situation, maybe they live in a city, they can't really walk around, go hiking, go to a trail. What might you suggest like for them just to kind of just like, hey, let's get active? You can start doing this like right now.
I mean, there's so many virtual options right now, which we should feel so blessed for technology, because if this happened 15 years ago, we would not have the resources we have right now. But you don't want to go back into the world in 3-4 weeks and have let this whole time pass and not given yourself the opportunity to be physical. It's not about being vain. It's not about, it's about being healthy. So we offer these virtual classes, either spin. Not everybody has a bike, and I totally understand that. But we have the housework, which is body weight. It is hard for me because the housework is different than what I normally do. So trust me, I get it. It's different. It's hard, but I feel myself changing. I feel myself getting stronger. I got out of my own way and I commit to it every day. So if nothing, you should be standing up, signing in. I do a free workout every morning on the Q92 Facebook page for 9 minutes. Jump on with me for there. Just get your body moving. It's so important.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head too. Like if it's one thing that this time frame has shown us, the immunocompromised have been the ones that have kind of taken the biggest hit. You owe it to yourself, I think, at the end of the day, to make sure your fitness, you're striving for healthy lifestyle changes, and just those choices will help make a tremendous impact. And I think the struggle too is like all these business owners are like, well, my business has been impacted, which so many people have been impacted by this, hands down. And a lot of businesses have been impacted. And I think people as well are trying to like reevaluate the business, like how can I grow my business again? However, if you become sick, you can't take care of your business.
Right. And I feel like you have to give it to yourself to give yourself the best version of you. And that's, not always just with weight. It's with strength. It's with health. It's with lungs. It's with heart. Heart disease is a huge issue in our country. So you need to take time to give your body the cardio it needs. Go for a walk. We're in the nice time of year where you can just like stroll around your neighborhood.
So to all the people watching, all the business owners, entrepreneurs, CEOs, what advice would you have for them, as far as, getting out, being healthy, making these active lifestyle choices, these smart decisions that are just going to, benefit their health, right now, today. There's so much stress, what we were just saying, they can, channel that stress in other ways, right? To,
Right.
their health.
I always say you cannot fill from an empty cup. And we hear that. Okay. But if you just give all of you and you don't sleep and you don't eat right and you're not giving yourself the love it deserves, you're going to just dry up. And then everybody that you're taking care of, they're going to lack too. Your kids, your partner, your business, your friends, your family. You're not going to have anything left to give them. So you have a vase and you pour into it. Eventually the water is going to come up and it's going to trickle out onto everything around you. So the more you give to you, the better you can be to everybody in your life. Things like this don't come easily, but once you're in a rhythm, it feels easier. It's part of your life. We're not looking for immediate, quick, short-ended solutions here. We want longevity. We want lifestyle. You, as a business owner, you are in charge of a lot of people's lives. So I understand that it's stressful. But if you're sleep deprived, if you're frazzled, if you're stressed out, if you're hangry, all these things, they're going to affect your life. So my best advice is fill your cup.
I think what happens too is like people think they're being selfish. Like, oh, I just want to focus on my health. But it's an okay type of selfishness. Like you need to be selfish when it comes to your health and your well-being. Like again, like all these sacrifices you've made for your business, for your family. It's time to make sacrifices for yourself.
I love on Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays, I don't have to teach until 9:30. I have coffee in my bed. That's my time. My son knows that. He's 5. He'll stay on his room or in his playroom and, he'll entertain himself. He knows I just need to like decompress a little bit. That's like my zen out time. If I'm going to meditate, that's kind of like my time.
Awesome.
But that's my selfishness. And, I'm not neglecting anybody. Everybody's okay. It's just that time that I'm focusing on me instead of laundry, dishes, work, kid. It's learning how to prioritize. And you should be at the top of that list.
Well, Michelle, I think that's all the questions I have on my end for today. I really appreciate you joining us here on EntrepreneurFit. Thank you so much for being my co-host today. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. I think what you're doing is awesome. And I think spreading that word of just staying healthy and active, especially now, is great. And hopefully people find what works for them. And we're in a rhythm soon.